Hey guys, before we get started, I just have to tell you it took me 30 episodes to do this, but in this episode, I accidentally have my fancy microphone facing backwards. So it provided this very echoey sound, which drove me crazy trying to edit this episode, but there was really nothing I could do about it. So just know that if the episode sounds a little echoey from my perspective, moving forward, my microphone will be facing the correct direction. So apologies if it's a little annoying to listen to, but I just wanted to give that quick disclaimer. Welcome to the Trip Tales podcast with me, Kelsey Graves. Let's jump into a new episode exploring a vacation destination that you'll want all the details about. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 30 of Trip Tales. That sounded kind of fun to say, episode 30. I feel like we are cranking these out now. I know many of you have been here since the beginning, but for anyone who is new, this podcast, Trip Tales, is a place where real people share the details about one of their trips. Accommodations, dining, excursions, tips, what to do and what not to do to help listeners gain vacation inspiration and plan their own memorable adventures. We've had episodes with real people sharing about vacations from Disney cruises to a couple's anniversary trip to Switzerland, family trips to Florida, Nantucket, and just last week, a mother-daughter trip to Amsterdam to see Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. So the sky's the limit. And I don't know about you, but in every single episode, I learn something and have a light bulb moment. Listening to all these great trips also makes me want to plan a million trips, but more importantly, if I did decide to go to one of these places, I feel like I already have a leg up on the research and I already have a game plan and a starting point. If you're loving the show, please pause right now and leave a quick review wherever you are listening. I currently only have 13 reviews on Apple, and reviews are a huge factor in podcasts coming up when people search in podcast apps. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can simply buy me a coffee to give me a pat on the back and help keep my mic on and episodes coming your way. That link is in the show notes, or you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Kelsey Graves. Okay, let's dive into today's episode. Today, I am joined by Erin, and she is going to be sharing all about her trips to the beautiful island of Aruba. Welcome, Erin. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I start every episode with a rapid fire get to know you. So tell everyone where you live, what you do, and about your family.
I live in Pasadena, Maryland, and I am a paralegal for a busy law firm. I've been married to my husband for 17 years now, been together for 20 years, and I have a 17-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter who also love to travel.
So I've never been to Aruba, and while I know it's part of the Caribbean, I had to look at Google Maps to remind myself exactly where in the Caribbean it is, and it's pretty far south, almost as far south as you can get in the Caribbean. You bypass the Bahamas, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, and then you've got Aruba and Curacao, which are almost to South America. So you reached out to me and shared that you'd been to Aruba 3 times in August 2018, August 2019, and then most recently in November 2023. So back in August 2018, the first time you went, what made you decide to book a trip to Aruba for the first time?
My husband had wanted to go for his 40th birthday. He had heard all about Aruba, and I had not really traveled internationally a lot at that time. And I was like, I don't know. But the more I researched it, because this is like a big deal for him to go, it looked amazing. So the more I researched, the more like, wow, this sounds like this could be amazing. So that's how it got started.
And when you guys went for his 40th, did you bring the kids or was it just an adults trip?
We did take the kids.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
getting to Aruba. I see in your notes that you flew Southwest, and I don't know how I missed that Southwest flies to Aruba, but we are big Southwest people here in Nashville. So tell me about getting to Aruba.
If you're lucky enough to get a nonstop, I fly out of BWI, which is my home airport. It's a 4-hour nonstop to Aruba.
That's
And
incredible.
yeah, it really is. And a lot of times the weekend flights is where you'll get nonstops. They have flights during the week. They may have like a layover for an hour and a half, so it's still not bad. But if you can go and get the nonstop within 4 hours, you're in paradise.
Are you guys big Southwest people? Do you do points and companion passes and all that?
I would say primarily fly Southwest, 100%. That is where I'm booking a flight. Luckily, all of our destinations that we've been to, Southwest flies there. I don't know what we're going to do when they don't fly to a destination we want to go to, but I haven't reached that point yet. But yes, we hold the companion pass. I get it for 2 years, then my husband's my companion. Then he'll 2 years later he'll get companion pass, and I'll be his companion. So we are all about the Southwest points and the companion pass to get us to our destination for sure.
Yes, I just earned one like 2 nights ago, and I was like, yes. And I know ideally you want to earn it like at the beginning of the year, but the way that like spending was going and things we needed, and I needed a business credit card, I got in when I think they're actually still doing it for a couple more days, but the Southwest Business Performance Card, you could get 120 thousand
Mhm.
points. It's like a double dip. So I reached the first level, which was 90,000 points, and then I need to keep spending to reach the 120K. But in that process, I earned a companion pass, and I was just like, yes, it's like the best feeling when you log in and see
Oh,
that.
it absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah, my husband actually still has one, and this was my own business card. So now we have two. So we each have a kid on ours because we have 3 kids. So it just makes that family travel so much better when we're booking 3 flights instead of 5. So I am like, I know some people like to hate on Southwest, but when you live in an area with a lot of Southwest flights, there's really no other option. Free checked luggage, companion passes, like we're here for it.
Totally agree. And I'm like I said, I'm from my main airport's BWI, and it's a major Southwest hub. So we are very lucky that we have lots of options when it comes to Southwest. Tons of flights every day.
Yes. When you arrive to Aruba, does the airport feel chaotic and complicated or small and easy? I know these island airports can be a wild experience sometimes.
Yeah, actually with Aruba, it's small and easy when you arrive. It really is. I mean, you've got to go through customs, but it's not bad at all.
Awesome. And then how do you get from the airport to where you're staying?
So when you get out of the airport, there is rental cars, more like the bigger companies, like I think like Hertz, for instance, is there. But we've always rented local. We went from a company called Wheels to Go. They have amazing customer service, and they actually pick you up in a van at the airport, and you jump in their van and you go maybe a mile down the road and you get to their location where their cars are, sign the contract, they go everything, and you get in the car and then you're on your way. So it's
Oh,
really
cool.
easy.
Good
Yeah,
to know about that company. Do they drive on the same side of the road as us?
they do. Yep.
So for the most
And
part,
they have
driving's easy.
it is, and you just have to know your roundabouts because they don't have a lot of traffic lights at all. It's constant roundabouts. So as long as you're comfortable driving through roundabouts, you'll be fine.
A fun fact, I was born and raised in Carmel, Indiana, which is actually the roundabout capital of the United States.
Oh,
Our mayor, for some reason, just decided to put in tons of roundabouts. He was like in this big roundabout phase. So we have the regular roundabouts, and then we have these like massive figure 8 roundabouts that are quite intense and complicated. But knowing this, I feel like I'd be good at driving in Aruba.
yeah, you probably would.
Let's talk about the island and culture of Aruba for a minute. So paint the picture of what you're seeing when you visit Aruba, what the people are like, all that.
Most people don't realize that Aruba is actually a desert. So it's a little desert like. When you get there, you do see before you get to the beaches, you will see like a lot of cacti and dirt and stuff like that. But so when you first get there, it's Aruba has 85-degree sunny weather most year round. They get very, very little rain because, like I said, it's a desert. So when you get there, you're first going to notice the tropical feel of the island, the weather. The people are super nice. Everybody is very welcoming. How can I help you? If you need directions, if you need to find where the rental car places, they're very, very nice. They want to help you. And you see like the palm, it's just like your normal Caribbean island. You see the palm trees, and it's actually pretty built up. Like I've only been going there for the past like 5 years, but most people that were going 20 years before me, they say when you get to the island now, you say, wow, there's like hotels galore. And there is. As soon as you land and walk, get on the main road, you'll see hotels everywhere. But it's when you get to the hotel and you get out and see that gorgeous water, like we stay at the Holiday Inn, and as soon as you get there, it's like all open. Their lobby and all. You just see the white sand, the tropical waters. It's paradise, really.
Yeah, when I was doing
So
my research, I read about the weather and how most Caribbean islands have a very humid, wet environment. And Aruba is one of the few that has more of a dry, like you were saying, dry heat environment, which does bode well for its weather year round, which is pretty good to know. Um,
Yeah.
and then you do stay at the Holiday Inn, but I want to tell people this is not just like any Holiday Inn. I was looking it up. This is like a resort. It's really
Mhm.
impressive. And one of the things that I noticed in a lot of the traveler photos is that water. Like even people's photos that weren't great photos, kind of just random snapping
Mhm.
photos, not editing them at all. The water stuck out as just so clear and beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And back to the weather, they're actually out of the hurricane belt. So that's one of the
Hmm.
Caribbean islands we don't really have. It's very rare that they get a tropical storm. And if it is, it's not like, it gets demolished like other islands. And it stays windy. There you get the trade winds. So even though you got that dry 85-degree heat every day, you have a nice breeze constantly.
Awesome. It's
But
just
yeah,
getting better.
it really is.
Okay. Tell us about the Holiday Inn Beach Resort and Casino, which is a pretty popular hotel down in Aruba. Hey, Trip Tales listeners. So, you all know how much I absolutely love creating content for Trip Tales, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to combine their love for travel and chatting with amazing people? But let's be real. As much fun as this is, travel content creation can be a bit pricey. From flights to hours of editing, while I juggle the chaos of being a mom of three, it's a wild but awesome ride. But guess what? There's this super cool website called buymeacoffee.com that was made specifically for creators like me and coffee lovers like, well, all of us. You can now support Trip Tales by literally buying me a coffee. Trust me, this busy mom could use a little caffeine boost to keep bringing you all the travel tales and tips you love. Plus, here's the fun part. If you do buy me a coffee, I'll give you a special shout out by name in the next episode. So, if you enjoy the podcast and want to support the show and my grocery bill, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/Kelsey Graves or click the link in the show notes. A huge thank you in advance for considering it and for keeping my coffee cup full and my mic on. All right, now let's dive back into today's episode.
So it's great for families. There's 3 buildings of hotel rooms. They have 3 pools. Um, it's right on the beach. Like, so you could literally be chilling in the pool and look out and you see the beautiful water. So we liked it so we could keep an eye on our kids. If they wanted to go to the pool, we could stay on the beach and watch them and vice versa. But it's a great location. It's literally right in the heart of like all the shopping, the restaurants. Because like I said, Aruba's safe, so you can venture off around the resort. It's just a prime location. And like I said, steps from the beach and it's family friendly. They have bingo, they have games for kids, they have a whole like, calendar of activities. So tons of families there.
Yeah, I had read that it also has one of the best stretches of the beach in Aruba. So there's obviously tons of
Mhm.
hotels and resorts all along the beach, but it has a substantial stretch and a very pretty beach. It's oceanfront, tons of palm
Mhm.
trees, multiple pools, gorgeous views. And when I was looking it up, just for, in a couple weeks or over my spring break, or even looking farther into 2025, rooms were at $300 to $400 a night. So this feels like a very affordable choice in Aruba.
Yeah, they have decent rates. And people like myself who even do the points game. I had IH this last time I stayed, I had IHG points. And with IHG, if you book 3 nights on points, you get that fourth night free. So you essentially only pay for 3 nights worth of points. So it really is a steal.
Yeah, if you book 3 nights, you get the fourth free. I've heard that before about
Yeah.
IHG, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us about the sleeping arrangements for families. Like, what kind of room do you guys book, and how do you sleep?
My children were younger when we first went in 2018 and they were smaller. The Holiday Inn only has king beds or 2 double beds. So we were able to just get 1 room for the 4 of us and fit in 2 double beds. As they've gotten older and they're now teenagers, this last time we did do 2 rooms because double beds are not that big. So
Right.
I would say if you have older teenagers, you might want to get 2 rooms, which obviously is double the cost, but it's a lot more comfortable. But their king bed is, obviously a nice big bed. So last time we went, me and my husband stayed in the king, and then we got an adjoining room where they were just right next door, and each teenager slept in a double bed.
Perfect. I was reading there might be an all-inclusive option. Does this sound familiar?
It does, and we have never done that because we like to venture off property. They do have an all-inclusive option. I personally don't recommend it just because there are so many amazing restaurants and the food there is decent. Like they have a good buffet that we've tried. And like some nights they'll have like a taco night outside, or I think it was a wing or rib night. And we've done them and you can add on you can pay per person with that. But I personally do not do all inclusive just because we like to venture out and go to all the nice restaurants.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. What about beach chairs? Do you have to pay for them or is that included?
So beach chairs are included. You do have to reserve a palapa, as they call it, which is like the hut with it has a little table around it where
Like
you
the
can set
thatched
stuff.
roof hut
That
type
yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
you do have to reserve them.
I read a nice review comment that said the stretch of beach in front of this hotel compared to every other is a 10 out of 10. Zero rocks, free chairs everywhere, and service to the beach for food and drinks. So you can
Hmm.
get food and drinks on the beach and by the pool.
Yeah, there's a lot of pool bars. There's a restaurant right outside. Yeah, and they have a happy hour too.
Oh, nice.
Buy one get one free drink.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that there were quite a few restaurants like Corals and Sea Breeze and Agave, Da Vinci, the Oceanside Beach Bar and Grill, a coffee bar, which turns into a cocktail bar at night. So it seems like you can leave the property if you want to go explore the actual island restaurant, or you could kind of get everything you need right there. And then I also read that kids under 11 eat free off the kids menu with a paying adult, which seems kind of great. I still have little kids, so I was like, ooh, noted. That seems like a nice cost saving tip.
That's a good perk for sure.
Did your kids ever go to the kids club?
They did not go to the kids club. They did participate in like a kid bingo they had and stuff like that. I think they have a basketball hoop at one point too, where they played basketball in the pool, but they did not do the actual kids club.
And it seems like there might be some areas or towers of the property that are more recently renovated. Do you happen to know which those are?
Yeah, so the Sea Tower is the most recently renovated building and it's more modern, but it is near a beach bar. It's called Moonbug. It's next door to the Holiday Inn. And they have like loud music all night. It is never, I do hear it, but it's never kept me from sleeping. But it is something to keep in mind if you are a light sleeper or have children that are light sleepers, the music can go on until about 2 a.m.
Yeah, I did read that there's quite a bit of live music, which sounds fun. But yeah, if you have young kids, maybe bring those portable sound machines and just have those
Right.
ready for sleeping time. It also seems to be very walkable to off-property shops, bars, restaurants, and grocery stores. So what's kind of right around there if you leave the property?
So right across the street is restaurants. There's even a little convenience store, but there's lots of like a whole strip of restaurants, souvenir shops, convenience stores, Dunkin', like there at one point I think there was a Denny's that's gone now. So there's some American, restaurants over there too. And it is very walkable. I like to rent a car because I like to snorkel all the different beaches and the island itself is just so beautiful. So I personally would never go to Aruba without renting a car. But if you don't want to rent a car, everything is right there. And even the Aruba, the Holiday Inn itself has like a convenience store, toiletries, sunblock, shirts, anything you might have forgotten at home, you can buy there. And you can also take a taxi anywhere if it's not within walking distance.
Okay, good to know. Walk us through a typical day for your family on your Aruba vacations.
Well, we like to go on vacation. So a typical day for us would be to get up and get in the car and go snorkeling. There's a beach a little bit north of the Holiday Inn. It's called Trapi, and it stands for 3 steps. And if you get there in the morning before all like the tour boats get there, all the sea turtles are there eating grass in the bottom.
I
So we
love
just get
sea
up.
turtles.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's the best. So we get up early and we go snorkeling there and we snorkel for an hour or two. And then we'll go all the way down south of the Holiday Inn because we go all over and we go to the Dutch Pancake House, the best breakfast. Aruba's known for their Dutch pancakes, which are almost thin like crepes would be. And you can get them like savory, you can get them sweet, you can get one that tastes like a pizza, one that tastes like strawberries and bananas and whipped cream. Like you can just go crazy. So we get multiple of them. And then we come back to the resort and hang out a little bit, maybe do the pool, maybe do the beach at the resort. And then a couple hours later, it's on to snorkeling again. So another part of the island, because this is what we do. and we'll snorkel there for a little bit, come back and maybe have us like a light lunch because we're normally still stuffed from breakfast. Come back, have a light lunch. We'll take advantage of happy hour, which is the buy one, get one free drinks. And then we'll just chill out and then we'll get ready for dinner. But normally that's not till later on the evening because I normally don't come out of the water before sunset. Like I've made dinner reservations before to watch the sunset and then I've canceled them because I just don't want to get out of the water because it's just beautiful to watch the sunset, come down right in front of you while you're just floating in like these Caribbean waters. So that's a typical day for us.
Amazing. You mentioned the Dutch pancakes, Linda's Dutch pancakes. Aruba is actually a Dutch island, right? And like the
Yes.
main language, one of the main languages is actually Dutch.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's so
They,
interesting.
yeah, they actually speak like three languages. Like they speak English, they speak Spanish, and they speak maybe it might be four because they speak Dutch, but they also speak their local language, which is Papiamento.
Wow. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
languages happening.
Yep.
I saw on your Instagram, I looked at your Aruba highlight and I saw like a really pretty area where the water was like splashing over these rocks and all these like crabs were crawling around. It just looked like a really cool scene. Was that
Mm.
that Trace Trape or the other place you were talking about?
No, that was actually at a restaurant called Zeerovers. It's right
Okay,
there on the
what's the
water.
restaurant called?
It's called Zeerovers. It starts with a Z, Zeerovers.
Okay,
And
tell me about that.
they bring in fresh fish and shrimp right from the boat and they steam it or fry it right there. It's like the locals place to go. It's really good.
Oh my gosh, that sounds incredible. Okay, yeah, let's talk about other restaurants that are off property that you guys love. So you've got Zeerovers, Linda's Dutch Pancakes. What else?
We like ones called Pinchos. It's set over the water. You walk down like a pier and the restaurants like on pylons over the water. And they have it's a really nice ambiance. They have really good seafood. We like that. We do one called Azuros. You can actually walk to it from the Holiday Inn because the Holiday Inn has like a beach walk. You can walk right along the beach, and it's a nice Italian place. And they have the big cheese block where they'll cook the pasta in the cheese.
Love that
Amazing
meal.
Italian food. Yes, we love that. And there's one called Yamanja, and that one you have to drive to or take a taxi. It's down more near downtown where the cruise port is and they have really good steaks and they have something called a tornado potato. It's a huge baked potato and it's like spiraled like a tornado. They
Oh my
put like
gosh.
chives and cheese in there and you get
Potatoes
like
are my favorite
skewers.
food group. I could live on just potatoes alone, all forms, chips, mashed potatoes.
Yep.
So that
Oh my God.
sounds incredible.
You're 100% me. Because I am all about potatoes.
Yeah, I'm like, I can
In
skip the
fact,
ice cream and dessert. Just bring me more potatoes.
right. In fact, I agree. Totally agree. And so there are a couple of our main go-tos. There is one also called Smoky Joe's, which is right across from Holiday Inn, and it's ribs. That's a good casual place to eat. So
The
that they're
Yamanja
basic.
one, I looked it up because you had tagged a story in there. So I like looked it up. It looked really cute, like outdoor seating under the string lights, and it looked like it had
Hmm.
like really nice entrees, like delicious entrees. So I like
Yeah.
earmarked that one.
Yeah, that was when we went this last time in November. It was a group, I think, of 12 of us, and that was everybody's favorite meal was at that restaurant.
Okay, we're gonna put all these restaurants in the show notes, you guys, with like their descriptions. So if you're wondering which is which, you can check that out. I also saw you tagged a place. I'm gonna try to say it. Bugaloe Bar and Grill. It looked like kind of an islandy dive, literally on the water's edge. It was
Yeah.
like there was like a dock, and then just kind of like a typical island bar and grill. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's Pelican Pier, there's Bugaloe. When you walk down that beach walk from the Holiday Inn down to other resorts, they have like piers with restaurants out on them, and they're good for lunch. I've heard their dinners are good. We tend to go to more, I guess, fancier dinners, but we like going there for a good lunch.
Yeah, sit waterside, get like some delicious
Hmm.
seafood and a drink. Oh, it's the best.
Agreed.
Um, okay, you talked about you guys are big snorkelers. So do you bring your own snorkel gear? Do you rent it from somewhere? How do you get your snorkel gear?
We pack ours, but there is a excursion that a lot of people recommend called Jolly Pirates. And they have like I was looking, they had like a sip, sail, swim, snorkel excursion. And I think they feed you a light lunch, but they pick you up at one of the piers that I was talking about just a minute ago. I think it's the Pelican Pier. They pick you up and they take you to like two or three good snorkeling spots. They have like a rope swing. They have I think they have a bar, and a lot of people choose that because they don't bring their own snorkel gear. We do pack ours. I don't know if you can just rent gear anywhere. I've never, inquired about that. But if you don't bring it, you can take this excursion that takes you to all the famous spots. And we actually go to those same spots just by car. We try to beat the crowds and get there a little bit earlier. But it's a 4-hour snorkel cruise.
That sounds fun for people that aren't like super snorkelers like you guys and don't like know the island as well to be able to
Right.
like get out on the water on a boat and then do your snorkeling, maybe have some food, do the rope swing. That sounds like a good excursion. Speaking of excursion and tours, I know that you guys are like snorkel, but have you done any other tours or excursions or explored any other parts of the island that you enjoyed?
Yes, we've done two others. We've done a UTV tour twice. That's fun because it takes you over to the other side of the island, which looks like you're on the moon. It's like rough, big rocks. You can't swim over there because it's like, it's not swimmable, but you have to take a tour over there. You have to see it literally feels like you're on the moon. And there is the natural bridge over there where you can stand on and get pictures. There's a natural
What do you
pool
mean
that
the
is
natural
protected.
bridge?
It's just a bridge between just two rocks that you can walk over water. It's like two rocks that form this natural bridge. I think actually the erosion from the waves is broken underneath of it or the rock. So it's like
But
a
it's a
natural
popular
bridge. You can,
spot to take pictures.
yeah.
Cute. Okay.
Yep. Yes. And then there's the natural pool, which is a little hike down, but it's protected from like the rough waters, but it's like a little natural pool that has formed that this tours will take you there as well.
Do
But
people
the
get into
UTV
it or
tours
do you
are
just look at it?
you can get into it. Yeah, you can. You can get into it
Okay.
and swim for a couple minutes. And so the UTV tours are very popular on that side of the island. And if you don't feel comfortable, because those UTV tours are rough, like my husband drives and was like,
Is
and
it
you get
like it's
filthy.
not an ATV, like is it a four-wheeler or you're in more of like
No,
a yeah, what are
it's
you
not a
in?
four-wheeler. It's like a UTV tour, but UTV, you're kind of like covered. It's got the roof.
Yeah, like an open
So, and
air like Jeep golf
yeah,
cart but for off-roading.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do them, or you can they have like a Jeep tour you can take where you're kind of like a big Jeep bus, and then a tour driver will operate it and take you to the spots. It's less rough, but some people that, aren't as adventurous prefer that. But
Okay.
I've done two of those tours and they're fun. You just expect to get like terribly muddy, and they give you goggles and stuff, and you gotta wear bandanas because
Oh, cool.
dirt's just flying everywhere. But it's a lot of fun. You go
Yeah,
up and
don't wear
down
your
like
nice clothes
cliffs.
on that one.
Right. And then what else? Oh, so we also Aruba Outdoor Adventures. This is a great tour. He's a local. He lives there. He will take you on a pedal kayak. So you get in a kayak, but you pedal and you go to like these spots where the locals go, and there's these coral reefs, and you snorkel, and it is amazing. Like you see like huge schools of blue tang, and you see octopus, and I can't recommend that tour enough. His name is RJ. He runs it. RJ Aruba is his name on Instagram. And that's a fun tour. We've done that, and that was really nice because he's like a local, so he tells you about all the spots. And he even took us to like this camp where teenagers camp in the summer, to get away from like the crowds. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. That sounds amazing. When you guys are snorkeling, this is like such a random question, but do you guys wear life jackets just to make it easier and to be able to like enjoy it longer or no?
We do not because we are avid swimmers and
Okay.
my kids are on the swim team, but a lot of people use pool noodles if they feel
Okay.
more comfortable to float. So yeah, you'll
Yes.
see people out there wearing life jackets. We personally do not, but a lot of people just like to lay on a pool noodle.
Yeah, I'm a pretty strong swimmer, but sometimes I feel like two things. One, it's just like more enjoyable, especially if you're like in the ocean or kind of far out to just like relax into the snorkeling as opposed to like feeling like you have to keep swimming. And number
Right.
two, I've been places also where you can't like put your feet down because if there is coral reef or whatever, you're not supposed to touch it. So then it's like
Right.
kind of awkward, which I know you guys are strong swim team
Yeah.
people, but I like the pool noodle idea because sometimes those life jackets can get annoying, but a pool
Yeah.
noodle can kind of help you just relax into the experience.
Yeah. I agree. And I do understand about stepping on stuff because I wear water shoes a lot. mainly because like there are sea urchins, and we went at one point, we had to stand on a rock, and thank God I have my goodness, I have my water shoes, because like those sea urchins, they are very pain. I've never slept on one, but I hear like that'll ruin your vacation. So
Yeah.
I always recommend water shoes, because you just never know what you're gonna step on. So
Have you heard of that like lotion that is supposed to help with sea stings?
I have not.
We're going on a Disney cruise soon, and everybody in this Facebook group I'm in is recommending this Safe Sea lotion. So it is SPF, it has 50 SPF, but it also is like a jellyfish sting blocking cream or something. And so you're supposed to
Mm,
wear it. And because a lot of people are getting stung, where the Castaway Key like ocean playground is, like it's kind of bad right now. And so I'm like, I actually need to do that today. I need to order that because it's supposed to keep them away. I don't know how, but it's like a bug spray for sea
I've
creatures.
never heard of that.
Okay.
I just know the sea urchins because they get the spikes, they can go in your foot and stuff.
Well,
So
yeah,
I always,
that's still gonna hurt.
yeah. But no, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. Luckily,
Yeah.
I've never been stung on Aruba. There's not like an abundance of like jellyfish or anything that I've ever come in contact with. So
Okay. Do you guys already have your next trip to Aruba planned?
we do. We're going in January of 2025. Yeah, it's
Nice.
it's one island we just keep going back to. We love it. It has everything.
Yeah. And will you stay at the Holiday Inn again? Is that your spot?
We're actually going to venture to the Hyatt Regency because I have points. So it's a lot more expensive if you're going to do the cash rate versus the Holiday Inn. Like we're talking at least double the price. But if you can play the points game and get, points, that's what we're going to do and stay there. So we're going to check that. But we are staying at the Holiday Inn still for a night. Just because they didn't have availability at uh the Hyatt for the one night we wanted to stay. So, but we're like, well, that's fine. We'll go enjoy the Holiday Inn and hang out there, and then we'll just head down to Hyatt Regency. They're all pretty much in the same like stretch. So
Yes, I have learned now that I'm dipping my toe into points and miles that Hyatt is where it's at in terms of like point redemption. If you export your points from one of these platforms and then use them at Hyatt. So I know Hyatt Regencies are a super popular choice for getting
absolutely,
some bang for your buck with those points. So that's exciting. We'll
Hyatt.
have to have you back
Yeah,
on and hear your thoughts on the difference between the two properties.
yeah, I would love to talk about it because I'm interested myself. So I think Hyatt Regency is more luxury. Again, nothing wrong with the Holiday Inn. We love it there, but I think the Hyatt Regency is a step up. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
How
What are your like go-to points credit cards or platforms that you like to use?
For sure, Chase, because of the ultimate reward system, the flexible points, and like they transfer to Southwest. I normally get a lot of my points through Southwest credit cards, but if I, need some extra points, I can always use them from Chase. But my big thing is transferring from Chase to Hyatt because that is the sweet spot. We have gone to so many places free on points with Cabo, Hawaii multiple times. Now we're going to do Aruba. I mean, the list goes on and on. We're doing all inclusives. We went to Dominican Republic, Punta Cana on Chase Point, transfer to Hyatt. We're doing the Secrets Impression Moshe and Playa del Carmen. So that's for sure where I would start. The Chase Sapphire, and then you can venture out to some business cards and
Yep.
get yourself a whole nice trip planned.
Yep, I've got the Chase Sapphire link in my show notes like constantly because that is the one I started with and I love so much. And then my husband, I did have a Chase Ink card back in the day, but I wasn't using it anymore, so I closed it. I should have referred my husband first, but I'm
Live and
learning.
learn, right? Yeah.
Anyhow, he just opened a Chase Ink card because the good thing is, so we love Southwest cards. We have a few of them. We earn on them a lot, but these like Chase and American Express, you can actually transfer those points back to Southwest if you need them. So the fact that once you've earned your companion pass and whatever, it's good to be on some of these other platforms because you can use them for Hyatt or for a cruise or for back to
Great.
Southwest. So it's really nice to have those. It was really funny this morning. I woke up and I had a fraudulent charge text on my phone. And it said, my husband's starting a new company. And it said, did you try to charge $8,500 to this old Southwest card? It's not even like a good Southwest card. It's like a old, and I was like, I assumed 100% it's fraudulent. And my husband was like, oh no, that is my charge. And I was like, you didn't put it on the new Chase Ink card? Like, like he's trying to earn a, introductory
Oh,
offer right now. And he was like, I'm going to call and see if I can tell them, like, I still need this charge to go through, but I need it on a different card. I was like, what are you doing? I was like,
oh, I know.
if you have an $8,000 charge, that's got to go on the newest credit card that we're earning a, offer towards.
Absolutely. I'm always switching cards out of my house. I'm like, hey, this one I'm earning a sign up bonus on. You use this card. Or if we have a big expense come up, I'm like, let me apply for a card first. Like it has to go in towards the sign up bonus. So I totally get it.
100%. I'm learning and we're getting better at it. And even just if you dip your toe in, it makes all the world of difference to get that first free, few night
Yeah.
hotel stay or great airlines. It's just the
Right.
best.
Because
Because you're
any
like, you
money
got to
saved
spend
is a
this
win.
anyways.
Right. I
It's not
know.
like
So
I'm out there shopping with, just like, oh, I need to spend money on this. I'm like, I have to pay for freaking braces. So if I'm going to pay for braces, I might as well get a free trip out of it.
we did the same thing with our daughter when she had needed braces. I was like, let me open a card. I
Yeah.
know. I know the feeling. You're going to spend it. You might as well earn a free vacation with it. Because
Yeah.
living's expensive these days. So it'd be nice to get a free
Seriously.
vacation if you can.
Seriously. You had mentioned before we got on that you like run a points and miles group. What is that?
So it's on Facebook and it's Erin Loves Travel Points and Miles Tips.
We'll
So if
link it
you
to
search
it.
that on so if you search that on Facebook or link is there. And I also have an Instagram, Erin underscore loves underscore travel, where I just share, some of my trips I've booked on there. So I'm kind of on both.
Awesome. Okay, Erin, I end every episode with, if someone out there is considering a trip to Aruba, what is it about this island that would make you say, just book it?
It has everything. It's family friendly. The weather is great. The food is delicious. The water is so clear and aqua. The people are friendly. It has something for everyone. It's the perfect destination.
And I also loved hearing about the snorkeling because I love snorkeling so much. And so many destinations you go to, there's a snorkeling adventure or excursion, and it's just a little disappointing. Not everywhere, but some places you're like, huh, I didn't really see anything. But it sounds like the snorkeling here is beautiful. And there's that cool excursion that can help you facilitate the whole thing. So that I am really excited about that.
Yeah, you just have to leave your property for that because the beach where the hotels are, it's great, but there's no coral reefs there. You're not going to see anything. You just got to go exploring or take a tour, but there is amazing snorkeling. And in fact, I love Aruba so much that when we went our first time, I'm not kidding you. We got home on a Saturday night. Sunday morning, I had booked our next trip back the following year. That's how
I
much I
love
fell in love
it.
with it.
That's
Yeah.
such a testament to how great Aruba is. Well, we already shared where you can find Erin online, which is her Instagram. Say it again one more time.
It's Erin underscore loves underscore travel.
Okay. And then we're going to link to her Facebook group in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here and for sharing about your love of Aruba.
Thank you so much for having me.
That wraps up another episode of Trip Tales. If you have a trip you'd like to share about on the podcast, email me at triptalespodcast@gmail.com and I'll add you to the schedule. Also, be sure to follow the show so that you don't miss any upcoming vacation destinations. And if you have an extra minute in your day, please leave a review for the podcast. It helps more than you could imagine. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Trip Tales.